Deep within the rugged wilderness of the Pacific Northwest, a group of seasoned hunters gathered for their annual expedition. Among them was John Matthews, a weathered outdoorsman known for his unwavering determination and his desire to prove himself as the best in the group. As the hunters set up camp beneath a canopy of ancient pines, excitement filled the air. The forests here were dense and uncharted, teeming with elusive game. John was determined to return victorious, but little did he know that the woods held secrets darker than he could have imagined. Around the campfire, the hunters shared stories of the legends that had been passed down through generations. They spoke of mythical creatures said to haunt the wilderness, creatures with fur as dark as midnight and eyes that gleamed like burning embers. The locals called them the shadowed beasts, and tales of encounters with these elusive and malevolent creatures sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture deep into the heart of the woods. John dismissed the stories as mere superstitions, eager to prove his mettle. The first days of the hunt were marked by success as the hunters tracked and captured various game. John's confidence swelled, and he ventured deeper into the untamed forest in pursuit of the largest and most elusive prey. But when night fell on the third day, one of the hunters, Samuel, failed to return to camp. Panic spread among the group as they called out his name, their voices swallowed by the eerie silence of the wilderness. As the search for Samuel continued into the night, the hunters were plagued by unsettling sounds, whispers carried on the wind, echoing footsteps that seemed to vanish into thin air, and the haunting cry of an animal that defied description. John's determination wavered as unease settled in. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched by unseen eyes, and that the legends of the shadowed beasts might hold more truth than he had previously believed. 2 days passed, and the search for Samuel grew desperate. It was during a moonless night that John had his first encounter with the elusive creatures. He had ventured alone into the dense thicket when he saw a pair of glowing, ember-like eyes staring at him from the shadows. Frozen with fear, he watched as the creature, its fur as black as the night itself, emerge. Its eyes held an intelligence that sent a chill down his spine. John's instinct to fire his rifle was overridden by an overwhelming sense of dread. John stumbled back to camp, his heart pounding with terror. He told the others of his encounter with the creature, but they dismissed it as exhaustion and paranoia. The remaining hunters intensified their search for Samuel, but the forest seemed to conspire against them, leading them in circles. Each night brought more haunting sounds and glimpses of the shadowed beasts. It became clear that the creatures were toying with them, herding them deeper into the wilderness like unwitting prey. As days turned into weeks, the hunters' sanity began to unravel. They were plagued by nightmares of the shadowed beasts, their glowing eyes haunting their dreams. Fear and paranoia took hold, and they turned on each other, accusing one another of leading them into this nightmare. John's desire to prove himself had become an obsession, and it drove him to push deeper into the wilderness, desperate to confront the creatures that had become the source of their torment. John's relentless pursuit led him to a secluded valley deep within the forest. There, he encountered the shadowed beasts once more, their numbers greater than he could have imagined. Their eyes burned with an unnatural hunger. In a terrifying showdown, John faced the creatures, his rifle at the ready. But the forest seemed to close in around him, and the creatures moved with an otherworldly grace. He realized too late that he had become the hunted. In his darkest hour, John understood the true nature of the shadowed beasts. They were the embodiment of the forest's malevolence, protectors of its secrets, and avengers of those who sought to exploit it. As the creatures closed in, John's arrogance and desire for glory were stripped away, leaving only the realization of his folly. He surrendered, dropping his rifle and offering a silent apology to the wilderness he had trespassed upon. The forest seemed to accept John's humility. The shadowed beasts circled him, their eyes no longer burning with hostility. Instead, they radiated a profound, ancient wisdom. They vanished into the depths of the wilderness, leaving John with a haunting but peaceful silence. When the remaining hunters finally located him, He was changed, his once obsessive desire for victory replaced with a deep reverence for the wild. They returned to camp, their numbers diminished, and the forest seemed to release its hold on them. The legend of the shadowed beasts persisted in the region, a warning to those who sought to conquer the untamed wilderness. John had learned the true price of arrogance and the importance of respecting the wild. The forest had claimed its tribute, leaving the hunters forever marked by their harrowing journey into the heart of darkness. The remaining hunters, including John, emerged from the wilderness change, their faces etched with a deep and unsettling understanding of the forest's secrets. They returned to civilization with a quiet resolve to never speak of their ordeal, for they knew that no one would believe the horrors they had witnessed. John's obsession with proving himself had been replaced by a newfound humility and respect for nature. He no longer sought to conquer the wild, but rather to coexist with it, understanding that there were forces beyond human comprehension at play in the untamed wilderness. The legend of the shadowed beasts lived on in whispered tales among the locals, serving as a cautionary reminder of the consequences of arrogance and disrespect for nature. The forest continued to hold its secrets, and the hunters who had ventured into its depths remained forever changed by their experiences. As the years passed, the wilderness reclaimed the valley where John had faced the shadowed beasts. It became a place untouched by human presence, a sanctuary for the creatures of the forest, and a testament to the enduring power of nature. John never returned to the forest, but he often found himself drawn to its edge, listening to the haunting sounds that echoed from its depths. He understood that the wilderness had a voice, one that spoke in whispers and echoes, and that it was a voice to be respected and revered. He became an advocate for conservation and the protection of wild spaces, sharing his story with others as a cautionary tale. He knew that the wilderness was not to be conquered, but rather to be cherished and protected for future generations. Despite the passage of time, there were questions that remained unanswered. What were the shadowed beasts, and why had they spared John's life? What ancient force had guided their actions, and what secrets did the forest still hold? These questions haunted John and the other hunters, a constant reminder of the mysteries that lurked in the wild. They knew that the forest would continue to guard its secrets, and that some mysteries were not meant to be unraveled. In his later years, John often found himself reflecting on the events of that fateful hunting trip. He understood that the forest had tested him, humbled him, and ultimately granted him a chance at redemption. As he gazed into the wilderness, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the lessons he had learned. The forest, with all its enigmatic creatures and ancient wisdom, had given him a second chance at understanding the true balance of nature and the consequences of human hubris. The legend of the shadowed beasts and the haunted hunting trip lived on as a chilling tale told around campfires. Those who heard it understood that the wilderness held secrets beyond human comprehension, and that the wild was not a place to be conquered, but a realm to be respected. The forest, with its whispering winds and rustling leaves, continued to call out to those who dared to listen. It remained a place of mystery and wonder, a testament to the enduring power of the untamed wilderness.